Hey guys, it's me Chandrak and today I will do a Wushu Pupil edition in 3.4. So it's about like Alhaitham, Xiao, Hutao, or Yelan though. So let's get started. So first one, let's start with Alhaitham. The good Alhaitham is the first. It's a solid and very good DPS. I already tried using him in a spiral base. He deal around 38k until 50k per the slash, which is very good when you do with the reaction though. When out in my standard, it's already very solid and very good in at least in my standard. And the second is that complex and smart gameplay, because like Alhaitham gameplay is basically same like what you say in the demo. Think before you act though.
I only need to think.
You need to think like what combo you should do, what rotation. You should have be careful wherever with your move though. So it kinda give you more challenging stuff in your gameplay, especially me as a end game player that kinda want something different. So this is give me a little bit more fresh thing for me and give me a reason to play Genshin Impact more, which is I like it though. And third one, here's the first dedicated on-field Dendro DPS, because if you some of people will say like Tinari, yeah, main DPS, but not dedicated in on-field because he's more into very quick swap. But Alhaitham really stay on on-field though and maximizing the combo something like that. So he's the first one that like that. Now for the Bad About Alhaitham is the first. I also say he's considered as a high difficulty character gameplay, because like you really need to kinda be careful with whatever you do. I already say think before you act. You need kinda be careful like with your rotation, like your combo, like make sure you didn't mess up. You know how many normal attack that you do, so you can maintain that third mirror, because that's very important to maximize the damage though. So it's a little bit need a little bit learning curve compared to other characters like maybe Yoimiya, Ayato, kinda like Hutao. It's kind of very easy to use, very convenient, but in Alhaitham it's the opposite one though. So because of that, it might be not comfortable for casual player, because casual player probably just want a kind of easy gameplay, don't want to think that much. But Alhaitham you need to think, be careful and see the timing, see the combo, what you should do, so something like that. So you need focus in here. So casual player may be not comfortable with this character though. And the third one, that this is not Alhaitham fault, but it's always because a main DPS is very replaceable, which means like you have a lot selection of main DPS though. Like you just see right now, I already told like Genshin Impact really like to release like more main DPS compared to sub DPS, so we have a lot of choice though. So yeah, because of that, it makes Alhaitham less important. Now we will move to the reason for you to pull Alhaitham. First, if you like the character though, because I really like his personality, like very knowledgeable, looks very smart, and I don't know, I just like it and I just pull it, I don't care. And second is if you need a solid main DPS, then pull for him though if you're still kind of looking for solid main DPS, because he's dealing a very good amount of DPS. I think it's around Ayato level, something like that, so it's already more than enough. So yeah, consider very solid main DPS. And third one is that if you need a strong Dendro character, then pull for him, especially if you're kind of fan on Dendro reaction, because he's very good on kind of spread, kind of helping in bloom, hyper bloom. His damage is very good though, so if you kind of need a strong Dendro unit, then pull for him though. And the last one, if you're an endgame player who want a more complex and want to make your gameplay more challenging, then pull for him though, because I already told you that his gameplay is a little bit complicated, like you need to think about the combo, timing, something like that. So maybe for some endgame player that want to hype up your gameplay, make it more interesting, kind of feel more refreshing, then pull for Alhaitham though, because it will give you thing and you need focus much, so it kinda give you kinda maybe more interesting vibe to playing more Genshin Impact. And for the reason for you to skip or don't pull Alhaitham is the first, if you have more than 2 main DPS, then you don't need to pull for him though, because I already tell you the endgame content, especially like spiral base, you only need 2 main DPS. If you already have more than it, especially 3, I don't suggest for you to pull Alhaitham, especially if you are free to play, unless you really like him. And a second, if you want a casual or convenient gameplay, then don't pull for Alhaitham. Alhaitham gameplay is not convenient at all though. Some people might find like uncomfortable because you need to think, you need to kind of see your rotation, your combo, something like that if you want to be efficient. So if you're kind of casual player, I suggest to don't pull for him. And third one, if you need sub DPS, take notes, he's not sub DPS like Nahida. So if you kind of want Nahida substitute, no, he is not. Just use Dendro MC. He's really only on field. Although you kind of see like he can do like off field like application of Dendro. It's just like very fast, so it's not even matter though. So don't pull if you find it for kind of want the sub DPS. Now we move to the second character, which is Xiao. Xiao, the good about him that he is a good main DPS. He is doing a solid damage and passable for me though. Second, if you need a convenient and fast-paced gameplay, then he's 1-to-1 though, because his gameplay is very fast. Like kind of do the skill like it's very fast charge speed. You can do twice, so it's kind of very fast, and you can just do the burst like kind of plunging. It's very convenient, very easy, and very fast paced. And I know some people really like this kind of gameplay, then yeah, that's the good part, because I like that too. And the third one is that if you don't care about the reaction, then this is the character though for you though, because you don't really need to think about reaction when you use Xiao, because Xiao cannot swirl. So yeah, that's a good part. And then now we move to the Bad About Xiao. First, he's considered like no easy to build, because like the character kinda build that you need is pretty much straightforward, like attack, crit rate, crit damage. So you even need a balanced energy recharge. So it's a little bit troublesome for you though. It's not as easy. You build kinda like Ito, you just need defense, or Yelan, you just need HP and grip, something like that. So it's make it more easier though. And yeah, Xiao don't have that to sting, so you might need more effort in that. So with that said, also because he's also an Nemo and then don't do reaction, because he's one of the anemo that don't do reaction. So it's pretty much same treatment, kind of mono geo or kind of like physical. Like in order for you to get insignificant improvement in terms of damage, you need either like you need a lot of investment, like maybe in the artifact you need to grind a lot using a lot of racing, or even you have to use like 5-star weapon, or even get the constellation. So he might end up like a little bit costly in terms of your time, or costly in terms of your money itself though. So that's the bad about Xiao though, because he don't have reaction. That's actually the problem. And the second is that replaceable, because I already say same with Alhaitham, main DPS, most of the case they have a lot of selection. You can see this patch we already have 3 main DPS that they do rerun or new: Alhaitham, Xiao, and Hutao, and the only one sub DPS, which is Yelan. So yeah, that's why I mean a lot of option that you can choose between like all of them, and you actually only need 2 if you just want to kind of care about the end game, like kind of spiral beast. Then yeah, it's very replaceable, right? And now we move to the reason for you to pull for Xiao. First, if you like the character, because Xiao is very interesting character though, especially like he looks like kind of always desperate, always have the karma, something like very interesting character that maybe people really like. Then pull for him though, because he's a good character still. Second, if you need main DPS, then pull for him. He's still doing a passable damage though, so don't worry about that. And then third, if you like the fast-paced gameplay, like kind of do like the skill very fast dash, something like twice, and just the plunging attack, something like that, then yeah, pull for him because his gameplay is considered one of the very fast paced gameplay though. And for the reason for you to skip or don't pull Xiao is that first, if you have more than 2 main DPS, same with Alhaitham, because our end game content is only spiral beast and you only need 2 though. So if you kind of have 2 main DPS or more, like 3 or something, I already say like before, then might not necessary for you to pull Xiao though, unless you like, of course, right? And the second, if you don't want to grind, don't want to put a lot of effort in terms of this character, because I already say this character need high investment in terms of time or cost. So like if you kind of don't want to kind of farm for artifact like that, then don't pull for him though, because he needs a little bit extra effort, and like compared to other like convenient character like maybe Hutao or Yelan, something like that. And third, If you need sub DPS, then don't pull for him because maybe you are a new player and you think like Anemo can swirl something that can work as a support. No, he has not support. He's like dedicated on-field main DPS, although he's Anemo, so different than Kazuha. If you need that, you may pull for Kazuha. Now we have the third character, which is Hutao. I think mostly people really like this character. The good about her is that first she's very strong, very solid main DPS, considered one of the best. There's no kind of debate anymore. She's really strong, I'm not kidding though. And second, very easy to build and very easy gameplay though, because literally her scaling is only like HP. So if, let's say you didn't get crit damage and you get like your kind of enhancement all go to the HP, that's still a win for you because Hutao need that too. And the second is that the easy gameplay, which is you only need to do charge attack after you do all this kind of setup though. Maybe if you're C0 you need to do ultimate jump cancelling, but actually it's still pretty easy for me though. And then the last one, good for early or beginner player because Hutao, I will just say he's very strong and with the very minimal effort. It's very good for some of the kind of new player that still struggle in kind of maybe ascension, kind of like in the world. Because I have to say, Genshin Impact is harder when I play in the early stage though. Now endgame it's actually very easy. It's kind of the other way. So if you're kind of beginner that still struggle, then I suggest that it's pretty friendly though for you though. Now let's talk about the Bad About Hutao. First, C0 might be annoying or clunky for some player, although for me it's not super annoying or clunky, but I do agree, because in order for you to perform the most efficient combo for Hutao, you need to do the jump cancel, charge attack, something like that, which is, that's not the best experience or very confident gameplay to play with, and I found like, yeah, I quite agree with them. And the second is that the continuation, because of that, you may need C1 for the smoother gameplay, which you can do the infinite charge attack though, which is, I don't also like it because it's kind of like tell you kind of in a very kind of polite way like, oh, you should pull C1 in order for you to get the full experience of your Hutao itself though. It's kind of tempting people's psychology to pull kind of more and paying spend more money that kind of messed up their savings, something like that, which is I kind of don't like it though. So that's a little bit sad that he like Hutao full kind of experience is kind of low in C1. It's very different than Ayaka, and everything at Z0 is already kind of full and complex. Even Raiden at the Z0, Z2 is only unlock his DPS, but everything is just full experience technically though. So Hutao, yeah, it's a little bit sad. You may need C1, so it's a little bit more expensive. And then third one, you will playing Hutao in the low HP, which is, I would say, it will give anxiety for some player, which is quite bad, and also it's quite risky though, because you need to at least like survive. You know how or when for you to use the burst for you to heal back your HP, so it's a little bit risky gameplay though. And the last one is that it's replaceable, and it's same with other main DPS, and no exceptional with Hutao because she's still main DPS, although she's very strong. I would say meta something like that, but I would say Spiral Abyss minimum requirement DPS check is not that high. Even with Sino level you can already pass, so even with Hutao that will be much more stronger, it doesn't give like kind of like, for me, like kind of exceptional, oh, she's kind of different. No, in the end she's just like main DPS that very placeable. You can choose either, if you don't want Hutao you can choose Ganyu, Ayaka, something like that. So yeah, it's very placeable though. And we have the reason for you to pull for Hutao. First, if you need kind of very strong main DPS, then pull for her, because she is, I already told, one of the best main DPS. So yeah, if you need kind of very solid main DPS, then go for Hutao. Second, if you're fans of Vaporize reaction, then pull for her though, because technically she's very good in Vaporize. That's really Hutao field on Vaporize. And the third one is that if you need a meta character, for sure she is meta character because she's just very strong though. And the fourth one is that if you kind of beginner or early player who still struggle, then yeah, I kind of recommend you to pull off for Hutao, because Hutao can carry you a lot though, especially kind of still lack of damage in their like kind of ascension part, which is I find also struggle, and Hutao carry me a lot when I'm still an early player, and I feel it's very easy for the beginner to clear a lot of things using Hutao because she is very confident. So yeah, for very good for early or beginner player. The last one, if you like the character, of course, because Hutao is very interesting character, then pull for her. And now we move to the reason for you to not pull Hutao. First, if you have more than 2 main DPS, then she is not necessary. I already told you, you only need 2 main DPS. If you feel like your main DPS doesn't deal enough damage, it's not your main DPS. Just fix your sub DPS. You can clear it fine. Because my Sino, people say it's very bad. I can carry. I try also D-look that people say already bad. I still can finish in a beast though. 36 star, I'm not kidding. I just put a good sub DPS though. So yeah, if you already have 2 main solid DPS, I just suggest you to kinda save, especially if you're free to play, and save for different like kinda maybe support or sub DPS character that more versatile. And the second that if you're endgame player who doesn't like really have problem in Abyss, I don't find you for reason for you to pull Hutao anymore because Hutao technically it's good for you to carry you, especially in kinda early that still kinda lacking damage something like that. But endgame player already kinda have everything right, so you probably don't need Hutao anymore unless you like her of course. The last one, if you cannot handle to play with the low HP because pretty risky right, I told you you may die. I even play Hutao sometimes only 1 HP something like that. If you kinda cannot handle those kind of gameplay, then don't pull for her. Now we move to the last character, which is Yelan. The good about her is the first, she is very solid Hydro sub DPS. She's basically kinda Sincho but have a little bit different gimmick, but yeah, overall still very strong, very solid. And second is that very convenient gameplay and fast paced because her skill also like even like it's kind of like have crowd control, generate a lot of particle, it hit hard, and burst of course is same like Shinjo, which is everything is very convenient, very fast game face gameplay too. And the third one is that because she's HP scaling, she's very easy to build though. Because we know that the chance for you to get HP in the artifacts, let's say something like that, is higher compared you get attacked though. So because of that, let's say you didn't get roll in crit damage and lose to HP, that's still a win for you though. Because of that, she's very easy to build. And fourth one is tend to be stronger than Shincho in terms of damage because yeah, HP scaling will kind of help Yelan more than kind of like Shincho that you need attack. It kind of like get this advantage though. And yeah, in reality, because I lose a lot of my roll into HP, it turned out like my Yelan stacked a lot in HP and the damage turned out to be stronger than Shincho though, because when I want to roll artifact for Shincho, I get defense, I get HP, but it didn't increase like Shincho damage though, but Yelan already get increase of damage, so because of that, Yelan have higher chance to become stronger than Shincho just because the scaling actually. And next one is that very helpful in the exploration because she run very fast on skill. It's actually a blessing. Like the desert one in the Sumeru, she really carry me a lot in that exploration. So yeah, it's very good also. And last one, she's very universal and very flexible character, especially as a sub DPS because she can fit with a lot of team though. Before Dendro even come, she already good at what like electro charge and like general usage. Even right now it come with Dendro can use in the like, kind of bloom and other stuff of the Dendro kind of need thing something like that though. So yeah, she's very flexible, very universal, can fit with almost every team. Now we move to Bad About Yelan. Actually, it's only one, which is maybe not the best for the Vaporous reaction at the Z0 because C6 Sincho is better for Vaporous, let's say like Hutao Line because it's more consistent. Unless you want to put like Sincho and Yelan, then I think it's fine for Yelan in the Vaporize team. But if you kinda want to put Yelan alone without Sincho at C0, it might be not the best. Still working, but it's not the best output compared to kinda like C6 Sincho did though. Now we move for the reason for you to pull Yelan. First, if you need a strong Hydro unit, then pull for her though, because she is very strong Hydro unit. And also if you need sub DPS, then yeah, pull for her. Like the off-field sub like DPS, then she is one of the best one. The second one, if you really need a second Shincho, which is for me, I always need because Shincho is really good. If you have to, why not, right? Then yeah, pull for her though. The third one is that if you need a flexible character that versatile because you can almost build every team like something like that, then yeah, pull for us because she's very versatile though. And next one also, if you want a meta character, then pull for Yelan because Yelan for sure is meta, is very just very good. The last one, if you like her as a character, then pull for her. Now we move to the reason for you to not pull Yelan. First, if you already have C6 Incho, then you may skip for Yelan though, because technically if you already have C6 Incho, Shincho can cover what the Yelan did also, so pretty much can like you can skip if you kinda feel like no really into Yelan, then that's fine because Shincho C6 can really substitute still very well, so don't worry. Second, if you want to improve your Vaporite stream and you're kinda only aiming Yelan C0, then I don't suggest for you to pull Yelan though, because it will not improve though. Damage, yeah, but the reaction probably not really that consistent. So yeah, I don't really suggest for you if you just aim for C0 Yalan on Vaporous. I'll start first with Alhaitham. Alhaitham, should you go for weapon or early constellation? Let's say like C1 or C2. I would say go for weapon though, because weapon for Alhaitham is will give you more benefit compared to the constellation. In fact, I would say the C1 basically is a little bit trapped. It just like means like if you have skill issue, then yeah, you may need this constellation. But if you can do properly, then you may end up not really useful this C1. So pretty much can waste. So I don't find it's good. But C1 pretty much actually okay. It's around 200 elemental mastery, but not super important. So because of that, I think the weapon effect is give you more impact though. That's why I feel if you weapon or constellation, go for weapon in terms of Alhaitham. Now for the Xiao weapon or constellation, I would say it's equal though. It depends what you want. If you kind of want just care about damage, you want to increase damage, then go for the primordial jet wing though. So the weapon itself though. But if you want the quality of life, which is you will get one more E skill or kind of elemental skill, it can give you more kind of like of course damage, and especially the most important, it will give you more particle for your energy charge because it will make more convenient. So I would say both of them important, but choose what you prioritize. You want prioritize damage weapon. If you want to prioritize your quality of life, easier getting energy charge, then go for C1. For Hutao weapon or constellation, technically same with Xiao. It's depend what your aim. If you prefer to get higher damage, then go for Staff of Homa, which is the weapon itself. But if you want to become like have a smoother gameplay, more confident gameplay, like you don't need to think like to do jump cancel something like that, then go for C1. Both of them is very important, like equally important, but just choose what you kind of prefer first. Damage for the weapon, smoother gameplay for the C1. For the Yelan, a weapon or constellation, I would say going for constellation is better choice for me because especially if you're going for C2, because C2 basically will give you additional turret. It will be good for the vaporize, it will make it better, so it make more kind of like perfect in the vaporize. And you will also, because you go C2, you will get C1 for sure, right? And C1 actually still good for your quality of life. You'll get more energy charge, you will get more slot for your elemental skill, which is good though. So you get double benefit. Compare you going for the weapon is actually good, but it's only increase your DPS though. And take notes also, Yelan actually have a lot of wide selection of the weapons, so make it kind of like you don't really have to go for the signature weapon. You can even just choose Epiphany's Warbow, Sacrificial Bow, or even the Elegy still work very good for Yolando. Because of that, I would to say just go for the consolation instead of weapon. So my verdict, if you ask me who should pull in 3.4, my answer is that it's actually just two solid options that you can choose. If you need solid main DPS, just choose Hutao. If you really need a solid sub DPS, then choose for Yelan. But if you kind of force me to choose one, which one that I prefer or which one I kind of value more, I value more Yelan. Why? Because Yelan is more versatile. You can fill into a lot of team, and I already to say that finding sub DPS is harder compared to main DPS. Thank you so much for watching. I hope the best of luck with your pool. And yeah, if you like the video, feel free to hit subscribe button and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.